Something happened. Maybe it was a diagnosis, a loss, words someone said to you that you can still hear clear as the day they said them. And ever since, there have been two things going on: the thing that happened and everything your mind has been doing with it since. The replaying, the looping, the arguing with it, the asking why me, the lying awake, running it back one more time, like this time it might end differently. If that's you, I want you to know that you're not alone. You can change how you hold your pain because what you're carrying is actually two different arrows, and one of them you can put down. There's an old teaching often attributed to the Buddha. The exact words we use today are a modern telling, but the truth in it is ancient. It says that when something painful happens, we are struck by two arrows. The first arrow is the pain itself, the hurt, the loss, the illness, the hard thing life handed you. And here's what I need you to hear about the first arrow. You cannot dodge it. Nobody can. It's simply part of being alive, in a body, in a world, in relationship with one another. The first arrow is not failure, is not a sign that you did something wrong or that you weren't careful enough. It is the cost of being here. It is the cost of loving things that can be lost. I have been struck. You have been struck. Everyone you have ever admired has been struck. But then there's a second arrow, and this one we shoot ourselves. The second arrow is what happens when we fight the pain, when we ask, why me? When we replay it so much we cannot fall asleep, when we resist it, argue with it, wish it were different, brace against it, as if we could push it away by sheer force of will. The first arrow is the hurt. The second arrow is the war we declare on the hurt. It's the suffering we layer on top of the pain. And most of us have been holding that second arrow so long, we think it's part of the first one. We think the war is the wound. Now, why do we do this? Because somewhere along the way, your mind learned that fighting feels like control. If I keep replaying it, maybe I'll find the moment it could have gone differently. If I keep asking why, maybe the answer will make it hurt less. Your mind is not broken for doing this. It is trying in the only way it knows to protect you. But it's not protection. It's a pattern. And patterns can change. So here is the part I really want you to hear. The second arrow is optional. Not easy to put down, optional. There's a difference, and the difference is everything. Because here's what I know to be true. You were born with everything you need to deal and heal. That is not a nice idea. That is how you are built. When you slow down, tune in, and bring gentle awareness to what is actually here without fighting it, without running from it, something in you begins to soften. Not because the pain vanished. The first arrow was real, and it may still be there, but the suffering doesn't have to follow the pain around anymore. And notice what this is not. This is not becoming someone new. This is not fixing yourself because you're not broken. This is remembering who you already are, someone whole, someone wise, someone who can sit with what is true and not be destroyed by it. So what does the practice actually look like? It looks like noticing the grip. That's it. That's the beginning. Notice the moment your hand closes around the second arrow. The replay starting up, the argument, the why me, and see if you can let your hand open. Not forever, just for one breath. Then maybe one more. That's the whole practice. It's small and it's quiet and done over and over. It changes everything. That's what dealing and healing really is. Here's a gentle question to ponder. Where in your life right now are you holding the second arrow? You don't have to answer in the comments. If it feels too tender, just sit with the question. That is more than enough. But if you'd like to share, share.